Welcome back, degenerates. Was that corny? Probably. Welcome back, degenerates. It's 600 of us here now, and today we got the luxury of getting Alexander KUZMIN here. He came down to perform a wonderful piece of art on his client, and we got to film it and record it. And now we together can steal all his techniques and secrets. Any question you have, please ask in the comments and we'll be sure to have him back on and in more detail explain a little bit of how he works. I hope you can get anything from the way he works. He's quite open about his technique. He likes to communicate with artists. Go flood him, ask him stupid questions. Ask him, yo bro, how much for a sleeve?
My name's Alexander KUZMIN. My friends call me Sasha. I was born in Minsk, Belarus, and I'm 30 years old. One day, an oven cleaner came around our house and told my girlfriend at the time that she'd look good with lots more tattoos and that tattooing was a viable career that you could start from home. So she bought me my first tattoo kit, and off I went. I was always interested in tattoos, but I never had one. So I thought, well, why not just get a tattoo kit and just do my first one on myself and see how it goes. Just, give tattooing a go. Why not? I was lost for any kind of direction in my life. Prior to that, I didn't really know what job I could do. I didn't really think art would be any viable career. So as soon as I started doing anything, I was just kind of hooked. Because there was just so much to unpack, so much to explore, so much to get better at. But I can't really pinpoint the exact moment when I thought like, yeah, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. It just kind of crept up on me. My favorite things to tattoo are beautiful but unsettling things. It's stuff that you can look at and it kind of captivates you and makes you not wanna look away, stuff that you can revisit several times and look at it and go like, wow, I didn't see this bit, and I didn't see this bit, I didn't see this little transition and this little bit of flow and this little trick, and just stuff that keeps you interested for a while past the surface of just like, oh wow, that's a cool tattoo. I'd place my current style somewhere in between realism, bioorganic and ornamental, because I kind of took all the bits from these three styles and mashed them together into something that I enjoyed looking at. I think it comes from like the notion of dreams and nightmares. Things can be dreamlike and unsettling, where it's like, it's not quite reality, but it's, sort of okay to look at, whereas nightmares are incredibly unsettling and detached from reality. But if I had to be honest, it probably comes from past traumas and experiences. When I started, tattoos were just tattoos to me. So I just wanted to do tattoos in the form that I thought tattooing was. After that, I discovered New School with the bendy pencils and the wacky animals and characters, and I was like, wow, this shit looks really fucking cool. I really want to be a fucking New School artist. So I started working towards that, and then that kind of wasn't happening. And then I always wanted to do portraits. I always wanted to draw portraits, and I was never really good at that. And I always wanted to tattoo portraits, but I didn't really have any place or direction to start doing them. But I always thought that like doing a human face is like showed like true artistry, to be able to render a human face. So I started working towards that, and then after that I wanted to be just like a pop culture or portrait tattooist, but I was struggling to find work for that as well. So in the end I just ended up doing just anything realism, just to get my skills up. I've begun to use AI pretty heavily now. I use it in place of like a search engine or an image referencing site. So I'll generate the bits that I need for the tattoo. And usually it's just like weird ornamentals. I'll try and pick a theme for what I'm doing. So I'll lean into either dream or nightmare, and I'll go and generate stuff to do with that. And I usually only use like quite a small portion of the generated image. Like I'll see like a bunch of stringy shit over here or a nice bit of flow over here, and then usually mix it with some kind of portraiture or some kind of other subject matter that I'm working towards, and I bring the ornamental elements in to help it fit the body a little bit better, because at this point I'm a little sick of just slapping realism on and calling it a day. I do my textures entirely in AI because I don't think my human mind can come up with the same level of abstraction that a machine can. I don't take exactly what the machine gives me as well. Sometimes I put it into an image editing program, I let it add my own bits, feed it back through, edit it from there, and we sort of bounce back and forth between us to avoid like repetitive patterns and to truly make it abstract and textured. At the moment, I feel the most creative and the most motivated that I've ever felt. I'm actually coming out of like a massive drought and a massive period of self-doubt and stagnation where I felt like I was doing technically sound tattoos that were essentially just boring and not interesting to look at. And I've been wondering if tattooing is even for me, to be honest, until I started to really look inwards and look at the problem, which of course ended up just being myself, and really committing to it and really working on it. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was carrying around a lot of traumas and a lot of personal issues that remained unresolved, which ultimately made me a very scattered and sometimes abrasive person. And it wasn't until I started to look inwards and started to look for the reasons as to why I am the way I am, that I was able to even see that there was a problem. And then I started unpacking it and sort of getting to terms with it and thinking how I could solve it. And then once that got underway, instead of being scattered, I unlocked a new type of focus which I never experienced before, and my work just took off. I think in my case, sorting out some mental issues and traumas definitely freed up a bit more real estate for tattooing and creativity, because it's difficult to be creative when you're living in a place of uncertainty and desperation. I'd like to thank my wife, because I think she played an important part into developing me into a somewhat likable person. She really taught me what love felt like. She really taught me what kindness felt like. And I don't think that I would reach where I am today if it wasn't for her support. My tips for beginners would be: hold yourself accountable. Don't ever give yourself an easy day, because other people are going to dissect your work anyway behind your back. So you may as well do it first and make your work bulletproof. Get your phone out, zoom in, find any undersaturated bits, try and learn from it. And also try and spend as much time designing and drawing outside of tattooing as tattooing itself, because if you only focus on just technique, after a certain point you'll reach a good level of proficiency, but your tattoos will be boring and won't catch attention. I use round shaders the most, typically a 5 round shader and then a larger one like a 7 or a 13. I like magnums, I think they have their place in tattooing. I generally use them to smooth bits out, to pack solid backgrounds, or to add a gradient over the top of the round shaders textures that I made. If I had to use one needle for the rest of my life, I'd probably pick a 5 round shader bug pin, because it's great for doing details, tight bits, sharpening bits up, making everything look super solid. And with a bit of a technique adjustment, you can use it to fill larger areas as well. It's a bit of a ball ache, but it can be done. My future plans would involve moving somewhere remote, if I could, to be amongst nature and tailor the tattoo experience further into an experience rather than a purchase. Sort of offer like a whole bespoke service as a package, maybe with accommodation on site, big glass wall in the studio so you can see nature and come and distress and relax. And just as like one-on-one personal experience, we spent almost as much time talking and getting to know each other to tailor the project to your needs, rather than just getting in and just getting the tattoo done and booting out the door. I was pretty young when I started tattooing, but beforehand I just had like bullshit jobs. Like I did some canvassing, knocking on doors, cold calling people, being that guy. And then I became an even bigger pest when I joined the call center and did it over your phone for an insurance company. So, yeah. If I wouldn't be tattooing, I'd like to think that I'd be doing something great, amazing, or important, but in all fairness, I'd probably just be a waste of space.
That is good. That is quality.